earlier when I was talking about my love for old circuits, one of the wonderful things about being a professor is if I want to learn about something, I can create a special topics class and go teach it. There's some folks in this class right now who are in here. I was like, I want to learn more about music synthesizers. Let me go do that. And a lot of that class is based on this old school technology. So this is a old mode type synthesizer where you put, you actually turn knobs and you put patch cords of oscillators and filters and amplifiers together. But one thing I've been doing with that is I've been creating sort of my own MIT style open courseware. This is both for the benefit of my own students, and I tape my lectures using the video camera you see there. I also have ones for another class I do. I'm doing this fall actually. You should sign up for multi-core and GPU programming for video games. And I put them all online. And for these music lectures, I've gotten emails from hundreds of people around the world who've seen these lectures. And so it's going out there. If you type Aaron Lanterman, Aaron Lanterman classes and Aaron Lanterman music comes up, as a first couple of hits, which I think is quite remarkable. For reasons I do not understand, if you type Aaron Lanterman in Google, the fourth suggested term is Aaron Lanterman gang. I have no idea why that is, but anyway, you can try it. It's very bizarre. So, but I got to thinking, wait a minute, why am I saying the same thing over and over? Yale has its own version of OpenCourseWare. Here's Paul Fry, he's a professor at Yale. Here he is lecturing on the theory of literature. I watched about 6 or 7 of these, and then my brain explodes. And he writes an outline on the board, and then he talks. And if you're into this, I guess it's pretty interesting. He's enthusiastic about the topic. You can tell we're probably overall have different styles as a professor. He's got this tie. I'm not sure I have a tie. But he just talks. And you know what? I bet he's given the same lectures for 30 years. So what's the point here of him then giving the same lecture each time? What is the university adding? Well, one thing it's probably adding, I did some poking around and I said, okay, well, let me try to find the website for the class. Notice this, okay, Tuesday, Thursday, 11:35 to 12:25, 1 HTBA, so I guess 1 hour to be announced. What could that hour be? Well, I looked around a bit more and noticed this. Let's see, attendance at sections, not lecture notes, sections is crucial, as discussion is needed to ensure understanding, participation in this discussion. But notice that something like an online forum can complement this, but that's something the university, or something the university like to keep offering. The fact that you can get together in person and hack over ideas. You might think this is some weird English department thing. MIT does it, and their main, they call these header courses. They're not required courses, but there's a set of courses you have to pick N of M. I think W's, that's called your breadth requirements, listed junior course you have to take 3 of 8 or 4 of 8 or whatever. They run that class kind of like a humanities class. They have discussion sections. They read papers like you would in a humanities class, new papers. They do case analyses, the way you might in sort of a management class. And they actually have real discussion sections where they sit around and talk about the papers they've read. They run it like a humanities class. What else could we offer that maybe the internet doesn't have? Not necessarily the university, but a university-like thing. Well, one thing I wanted to do with my special topics class is to actually have people build real stuff. So this is Billy from a previous version of my class. This is his version of a filter from, I think, the Roland 100M synthesizer, if I remember correctly. It sounds pretty cool. This is from an even earlier version of the class. This is Chris Garriott. He was actually, notice we've got this Core MS-20 synthesizer down here. He's playing his guitar through his device, and he's using this to make a modulation signal and testing it. But then I looked around and I went, okay, this is something we can't tell people to do at home. This is something that the people watching the Awesome Circuits class at MIT can't do, which is they can't go into lab and have, you can buy some stuff, but have some pretty good test equipment. Well, maybe there should be places you could go to do that. So here's one. It's outside the university called Tech Shop. Apparently these are springing up. They're kind of like what are now called hacker spaces. And you can go and you basically pay like a gym membership fee, and you go and they've got all sorts of equipment and stuff. And they have classes, And they have sort of birds of a feather type groups where you can get together, talk about building your robots or your solar panels or whatever. And I love this little quote down here. You can think of tech shop like a fitness club, but with tools and equipment instead of exercise equipment. It's sort of like a Kinko's for makers or a Xerox Park for the rest of us. I love that. I think maybe that's what universities should become.